Data Voyagers.
Good day, data explorers of the world. This is the Data Voyagers Podcast, our very first podcast. So, Data Voyagers Podcast, navigating the stories behind the numbers. So, this is the very first episode. So, we will introduce ourselves, we'll explain what is the structure of the episode, what we'll be expecting. But before we begin, before I introduce myself and who's recording with me, my partner in crime, just very quickly, make sure that you subscribe to the Data Voyagers podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, either Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever you listen to your podcast, make sure to subscribe and send to your friends. So it's our very first episode, so we need people to listen to what we are doing. And if you and make sure to go to our website datavoyagers.net, and we also have a LinkedIn page. So just check for Data Voyagers everywhere. So let's get started. I am Igor Alcantara, and recording from Alpharetta, Georgia, United States, and from the other side of the ocean, Angelika Klidas. Angelika, thanks for agreeing to do this crazy idea with me. So
Yeah,
thank you.
super looking forward to it, Igor.
Very good, very good. So this is the first episode, so we basically we want to introduce ourselves and introduce this project. And the idea behind this podcast, and we explain later, but the idea behind this podcast is we'll have different segments, and one of the segments is the main topic. But before we start the actual main topic, we like to just do a little like recap of the last couple of weeks, or last weeks, so what's happening, what's going on, things that caught our attention. So this is the Voyagers log segment. So basically, here each one of us will bring something that will bring something that that we're doing that is nice, or something of that nature that we would like to share with you. So Angelica, so what's going on with your life?
Oh, my life is very busy at the moment. First of all, I have an amazing project running at one of the biggest unions here in the Netherlands. To become data driven, you have to learn all about, and anyways, the fundamentals of data and AI literacy. We are working on some training development, creating AI awareness for everybody on a low basic level in human language, so that we no technical talks, no not anything, just basic concepts about AI and how does it work, and how can you treat it as well. I'm preparing a training at the moment that I will be conducting in 2 weeks. It's already ready, but I'm a girl that likes to prepare herself a little bit. So it's the requirements for data professionals, what we do in 2 weeks' time. And it will talk about strategies, data strategy, but also that everything that we do in our data world should be related to the organizational goals of an organization. And we use generative AI in our training to actually be able to ask for Socratic questions, to make strong strategies, but also strong user stories to build the good things that we want to build in dashboards and so on. Yeah, well, and we have some amazing things coming up. I think you are joining us in Click Connect as well, right?
I am, yes, yeah, I am.
Yeah, and that is coming up. So preparations for that, because I will be attending a panel session on Wednesday from, I believe, the cocktail hour 5 to 6. It's one session only, and that's the Woman Who Click, with my amazing girls, Priscilla, Stephanie, and Gwen, and some others, and of course our host. And we will be talking about data in our lives, and how we cope in combining home, children, and everything, and mentorship around that topic. Yeah, and in the coming weeks, we will be recording also some sessions with the Data Mix, Brian, Booten, and George. So yeah, cool. And the last thing that is going to happen, and the presentation is ready, as I like to prepare myself, and that's a session for the educators that use the Click Academic Program. How I use the Click Academic Program in my classes. And you, Igor?
So yeah, I'm doing so we're recording this at the beginning of April, and if when you're listening to this, we're still at the beginning of April, and then since then I had at least one webinar or something, some sort of like public presentation of speaking every single week since the second week of the year. So it's been a pretty busy year, but it's okay. I like it, and so I think that's one of the greatest thing. And but possibly the biggest is that I was for the first time selected as a Click Partner Ambassador. It's a very selective group. I was expecting to go to the UN and discuss the world peace, but it's not that kind of ambassador. Anyway, all jokes aside, I'm very happy and very proud to be part of this group, which
Yeah.
Angelika is also part of this group of many more years than I am. So yeah, I think that's one of the great things. And on a personal note, this year I started teaching my youngest daughter to program, and she's doing pretty good. So maybe in the near future she'll also be a woman who click. Who knows?
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe. Well,
yeah.
those are the elements that we get from Click as a Click partner ambassador, and those are the bots that inspire us. So they are always in front of me on my desk, and they are fun things. It's domino, but it's handcrafted, and it's very beautiful to have them. Igor, you will receive your first one, I think, this year, right?
I will receive my first one this year. And actually, that's interesting that you mentioned that because if you listening to the podcast, just the audio version, I do not see that, but just be aware that we have the video version of this available on our YouTube channel, just Data Voyagers as always. But also we have like the audio version. So basically, Angelika showed her how you call those. It's
Bots,
bots. Yeah,
bots. Yeah.
the clicking back to the bots. Great. Now let's get to the main topic of the episode, which is like who we are, honestly. So, and I'll start with you. So, in a few words, I think that's a very difficult question to answer, but who are you?
I will try. Okay, Angelika, 62 years old, proud mom of three. A, I have a daughter-in-law. I have a grandson, and I have a son-in-law. And yeah, I simply love the things that I do at the Business Data Challengers, my commercial work, where I work now for almost 2 years as a trainer and advisor. And in my spare time, as a hobby, I teach already for 17 years at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And you, Igor?
Great. Oh, that's great. Well, I did not know about the about some of these, so that's good that we also get to know each other better. So I'm also a proud father of three, and so my oldest turned 18 the end of last year. So um, it just it goes so fast, and my youngest it's 9. I think as I mentioned before. Anyway, husband to amazing, beautiful, really smart wife. And I am, it's hard to describe myself, but if I have to pick one thing is I'm a storyteller. I like stories. I like that's one of the reasons I like podcasts. I like doing podcasts. I really like stories. This is the first podcast that I'm actually being like a member of like a fixed member of it in English. I recorded 2 episodes in English before, one for the Click Dork, a Dalton, like also a great friend, and another great friend. I recorded 1 episode with Kurt. I think it's KPI, yeah, KPI, um, and podcast, 2 great podcasts. So I joined them in 1 episode each, but this is the first actual English podcast that I'm co-hosting. But I do have a lot of experience in podcasting in my native language, Portuguese. People probably noticed by my accent that I am from Louisiana. No, I'm kidding. I'm from Brazil. And in Brazil, I had a few podcasts. So I have, because I love data, I have all of the data, every single episode that I recorded. So I'm doing this for over, I think, maybe 12, 13 years. I recorded over 300 episodes of different podcasts,
Wow.
most of them related to science. I have a podcast in Brazil now. We are in kind of a little pause. We need to find sponsors to maybe we come back for another season. We'll see. But it's like hard science kind of stuff. And we want to do something data related. It didn't turn out. We kind of expand a little bit, and that was the idea of Data Voyagers. What else? I'm obsessed with the Beatles. I can bring any Beatles fun fact in any conversation, any topic, no matter what. Don't challenge. And if I don't, it's just because I'm holding myself, because it's kind of my hyper focus. And I think the last thing about me is I'm in the autistic spectrum, so that's why I don't have a lot. Some people think I'm weird because I don't have a lot of the social clues normal people have. So if I do something that seems like weird, it's not on purpose. It's just because my brain's it's wired in a different way. Anyway,
Well, there is an extra
yeah,
relax between thinking and doing, right? Yeah,
it's just because like the social clues people usually have, like
yeah,
when you're being too annoying or not, and I don't get that. I'm very literal.
yeah.
So then I tell people, if I did something that bothers, just tell me. I'm okay with that, because actually I like that, because then I know, because I don't read between the lines. But anyway, all right. So you already started talking about some academic background, but in the present, now let's go back. Let's get our
Well,
DeLorean, travel back in the past. So
uh,
how we get to this? So what's your academic background?
I have no master's degree. I have a bachelor degree. I think I am self learning, autodidact, as you call it. I worked a lot of years at a big governmental organization, and my boss said to me, my manager, sorry, he said to me, Angelika, it's time that you will get your bachelor's degree. Go to get it. And I studied for 3 years, uh, actually 2.5 years, because I speeded up at the end, doing a semester, my thesis, and teaching already at the university. Um, and I got my bachelor's degree with cum laude, which was amazing because I wasn't expecting that. Um, but I love data, to be honest, and everything intertwined with data, that is there, and not from the technical point of view, but more from the business, the people point of view. That's my most favorite topic. You have the Beatles, I have data and AI literacy, but I do also love music, of course. I'm very broad, and I play guitar. Maybe that's a fun fact that nobody knows.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I used to play the guitar. I mean, I still want one once in a while. I play just for myself, but I used to play. Yeah, yeah. And I had a band when I was, I don't know, my
And
17,
drums.
20s. Yeah, I had a band, and
Yeah.
were mildly popular in my town. Anyway, now my academic background, it's a little bit as everything about myself, weird and not kind of linear. So I mean, I started studying programming when I was really young in the 80s. So I was 8 years old when I started learning basic COBOL, DBase 3, those kind of things, Clipper. So I 8 years old. I did not have a computer, which was interesting. So I have all of the homework or the assignments I had to do on a piece of paper. So and I need to test it and troubleshoot it just using my brain, which actually it was pretty good for me in the future because now I can look at a code and say, okay, that's what is wrong within seconds. So I always like computers, and then eventually, I work child labor. Yes, I was giving a private. I love teaching. Education is a passion, as for both of us. So and then I got my money, got my computer. So I always love it. So I always thought I'll go to computer science, computer engineer, something on that. That's what I wanted. But then my mom had a different plan for me. She said, "No, you're not doing that because I'm paying the bills. You're doing whatever I say you have to do it. You're going to the medical school." So I studied hard, passed the exam, went to the one of the very prestige medical school in Brazil. Had a lot of experience, even going to the Amazon doing like research work with the indigenous communities. Like there was one time I even ate a monkey because of so a lot of crazy stuff happened. But I like the studying part. I like the learning part. But I hated the idea of becoming a medical doctor. I hated the idea, and I knew I would not be good at it because I would not like it, and I'll be miserable. I'll be unhappy. I'll have a lot of money, but I'll be unhappy. So in the fifth year, I quit. I said, this is not for
Okay.
me. I quit in the fifth year. People say, you're crazy. I said, no, no. I had no kids, no wife. So I was basically myself. So I was crazy if I would continue to do so. That was the moment of big shift because I had no other responsibilities than myself. So I quit. The same day I left my mom's house, and I decided to like now my life starts. And then eventually I went to computer science. So that's actually what I actually graduated, finished, and then later went to in my master's is when I started learning AI and more statistics, like more adept. And then I fell in love with data. About the same time is when I started with Click, which we'll discuss. Actually, we will discuss later. So that's my background, not so linear, but the medical school now I don't regret because it gave me some perspective that I wouldn't have otherwise. So it was interesting.
Yeah. All right. So what's a fun fact about you that nobody knows, except that you are a Beatles fan because you already spoiled that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I had I really really like science. There's not a fun fact. There's not, everybody knows me knows I love science, and I don't have a lot of abilities. And cooking, I do very well, a few recipes, but not like I don't have like a natural talent. And because I really love hot sauces, I decided one, but I never found the hot sauces that I like. They either too spicy, no flavor, or only flavor, not spicy enough. So I decided, okay, let me use my science skills and build a formula and like do my own hot sauce. But I'm autistic, so I'm hyper focused. I can not only do that, I had to create a label and then I created a brand. And then basically I started my own brand of hot sauces. And I have like 9 different recipes. So I have 9 different products. And I started selling. I sold all over the US and Canada. Now it's kind
Really?
of, yeah, I don't have that anymore because it was becoming too serious. And I said, I cannot quit my job to do this. So I had to quit the hot sauces. I do for myself once in a while. But yeah, I had all the equipment. I measure all the chemical aspects like the pH, everything. I have an equipment to sterilize the bottles and to seal the bottles, and then it became more and more and more. And then a lot of people do not know that it was like that. Now, which is much simpler to do. It's not there's no business involved. I also like crafting, making drinks. Last year for Click Connect, actually, I did one drink for just to celebrate the fact that last year was selected as the speaker at Click Connect. So I created the Click Fusion. It's green, very strong, but has a tropical flavor because it's in Florida. So I like these creating things, and even if I don't know how to do it, go ahead and study and learn. So I think that will be a fun fact about me. How about you?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is that I'm crazy about rugby. All my kids play rugby. My son and my son-in-law, they play in the same team. Because my son-in-law is the boyfriend of my daughter. She's 19 years old, and my son is 22, and he plays at the same team as my son-in-law. So almost every Sunday we are there, and we help in the kitchen. We help to around the area of the rugby field, and watch, of course, the rugby game. Go with my son to the games, but also the two girls in my family, they also play rugby very well. So that's cool. Another nice thing is that um, I used to play in a band. I play guitar, but I also play drums and bongo. So I am musically, yeah, actually, I can do nice things with music. So
Nice.
that's cool. Used to play in a band, like just like you, but due to time and the study at the university, I was a little bit overbooked, so I stopped with the band. But still, my guitars are downstairs, and sometimes I take them up and play a song for my grandson Dean. He is 3 years old, and he loves music.
Nice. What
Yeah.
kind of what style of music
Oh, it
you
varies.
play?
It varies from the Beatles. I play
Hmm.
some songs of the Beatles, Elvis, but also some Metallica,
All
some
the
other
good
things.
stuff.
I have a very broad taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I like from the Beatles to the heaviest metal you can think of. Is usually what I listen to work. Actually, it's like the heaviest metal you can think of.
I discovered recently after I watched the movie of Avicii. I am I am Tim
Hmm.
Avicii, and I really liked the documentary. It was pretty good filmed, um, and I found out that actually Avicii is completely booked in my playlists on Spotify. So that was a nice discovery. Yeah,
Nice. I
cool.
haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, this podcast is not to talk about Click only. It's data in general. The idea is to be agnostic. But I mean, we both Click ambassadors and work with Click. We're going to Click Connect. We're talking about Click a lot. If you're watching the video, I intentionally picked green as my shirt color for the first episode. So yeah, so we like Click. So how did you start with Click?
How did I start with Click?
Yeah, actually, I don't know that,
Oh,
so I honestly curious about
no, it's a long
it.
time ago. I started at the university when I was doing my studies in 2007. I get to know Click View 7, I believe, even at that moment. And we had to do a data analysis in the new minor, data and analytics, or business intelligence was the name of the minor. 6 months playing around with data and ClickView, and I fell in love. And I took the tool with me to the company that I work for, and it was already there at the company at UWV, the governmental organization. And from there we started playing around, and I even did scripting, but it took me so much effort to learn to script and to think in the logic that the developers do or the data engineers do nowadays. But I'm trying to play around with Click Flow, which is the new Data Flow is the new subset of Click. Um, but I'm good in visualizations, following the rules about visualizations and understanding what the public wants and get the user stories right. So that's my main thing when it comes to Click. But it goes back already to 2007, so already a long while. And you, Igor? When did you started to know Click?
So I was already working in the same company I'm working today, IPC Global. So I was in Brazil. Back then, IPC Global meant that we have offices in other countries. Now we still have an office in Brazil, several offices in the United States. So I was working in the office in Brazil, and then we had a customer in Ohio, a food company, and they wanted us to look for a BI solution. So we're talking about 2004. Actually, October 2004 is when we actually make the decision. And one office we had in the UK, so they were already using Click for some oil companies, some companies in the UK, in Europe. So they were already using, back then, 2004, Click was kind of not very strong in the US yet, but it was already very strong in Europe. In Brazil, I think it was non-existent. I think it was one of the first in Brazil to start using Click. So then they told us, well, we are using Click. So you guys want to take a look? Was Click View? And we look at it and said, well, this is amazing. I fell in love with the associative engine the first time. It was very different for me because I was a DBA. I was like used to like normalization and that kind of stuff, and then seeing the opposite of that, which is the structure of BI, was like a shock. I was like, I thought I was doing a crime. Then I realized, oh, it's for the performance, for the user experience, and all of that, and it makes totally sense in my brain. So then we started implementing this in this customer, and then still doing that since then. So we were not doing AI. Our main business was ERP implementation. So the BI, I'm sorry. So the Click and the BI stuff was kind of an addition. And then the ERP starting to decrease. All of the companies already had an ERP. It was implemented. So pretty much like stable. So then we naturally shift, and that's basically now all we do. So yeah, 20 years. It's a long journey.
Yeah, it's a long time, huh?
Yeah,
It's a long
well, I mean,
time.
both of us. Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
long time. Yeah.
yeah. And I was talking to a customer recently, one of the biggest universities, online universities in the Netherlands, Open University Heerlen. And I was talking to the manager of the BI team, and that man really loves Click, not only because of its associative memory, but also from alternate states to make comparisons. He thinks that's the one biggest unique selling point of Click, alternate states. Wow.
Yeah, it's ultimately it's pretty good. Customers love it, but I still think associative engine to this day,
Yeah.
it's something that nobody can copy.
One. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Now,
Yeah.
this is just for our listeners to be aware. Because of the name Data Voyagers, we'll do a lot of puns, a lot of references about travel, exploration, the kind of things. And so in our journey, so that's the first one. In our journey, in our career, of course, I remember, not I remember because I'm not that old, but I know Isaac Newton said that I only reached, I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something like, I only reached that far because I stand in the shoulder of the giants, in reference to the people who inspire him, that came before him. So who are your giants? Who are the people who inspire you or mentor you in your journey?
Yeah, there is one above all, and that's David Bolton. David Bolton was one of the Glick guys. He run life sciences, healthcare, and governmental organizations. He sadly passed away on October 11th in 2020 due to a plane crash. But that man shaped me for who I am today. To be honest, he taught me how to present, how to express the stories, because just like you, I love data storytelling. Um, and he really shaped me who I am. And my book, the book that Kevin and I wrote together, Data Literacy in Practice, is dedicated to him. It's here. Let me pick it quickly. So that's the book. And I'm really proud that we wrote it, and I know that somewhere in heaven, as a star, he is proud of me as well, of what has been done. And the second one, which has also an important role, is Donald Farmer. Um, he came to me at the office of the governmental organization to talk about Click and about the ideas of developing a new product. And one of his first questions was, Angelika, if you would have the power to rebuild or build a new solution based on the associative engine, what would be one of the first things that you would change? And I told him, drag and drop, baby. Drag and drop elements. And in 2014, we got ClickSense, the first version, and we had drag and drop. And since then, I'm using only solely ClickSense. And you? Who inspired you?
So there's a few people. The first I will mention, it's not related to data at all, but it's a professor in a medical school that really inspired me. Actually, he unintentionally may help me to make the decision to quit the medical school because he was so passionate. He was a great educator. He was so passionate about it. And the way his name is Dr. Rui Guilherme. This is back in Brazil, Brasilia, where I grew up. And then he was like the way he spoke, and he was a storyteller. And I love, and he was the one who inspired me at first studying storytelling. I wrote books in the past, and in the uh, total, I think technically I wrote 6 books, but one of them it's only one copy that I wrote it for my wife as a gift. So I always liked storytelling, but he was the one who um, helped me understand like storytelling for teaching, education, that kind of stuff. So he really inspired me. And now on my more professional journey, I think the first one that I have to mention is a person. He's a personal friend, um, great, very smart Italian, crazy person. We still are colleagues. Gus Scalia, and he's the one who, I mean, in fact, who taught me English, because the little English that I knew in back 2004, I never had any English classes. So the only English I knew, I learned from movies and from the Beatles, and a lot of like Scorsese and Tarantino movies. So of course there was a lot of like cursing in my English, which he helped me fix it. So he helped me on that. He helped me professionally with a lot of advice, like how to behave in with customers, etc. How to put customers first, but for real, that kind of stuff. So Gus, and it's still to this day. Sometimes I have like a work problem, so just call him. So can I just run an idea for you? He has a very mathematical mind, which is aligned with mine. I also have a very mathematical mind, so we kind of work together. And so he'll be another one. And I think a third one is a guy. He no longer worked for IPC for a long time, but it's the guy from the UK who actually told us you should try Click, and he was the one who actually taught me the very first things that I learned in Click. His name is Matthew Vale. He lived in I forgot the name of the town. It's a small town northern of London. Very nice guy. I used to meet him every Click Connect, but I think he's working with the finance and investments, not working with BI anymore. But yeah, so he was another a great inspiration. So I think I'll mention these names. Now, I think we have one last topic on these, like getting to know ourselves, which is, in your opinion, what people should expect from this podcast.
Well, so that people learn to embrace data and AI literacy, of course. Don't be afraid. I believe even we as lecturers who give training and lectures at the university, teachers, professors should embrace generative AI solutions and help them to use it in a correct way. And how can we assess them uh, to actually ask the questions to assess them? So I think that's a thing that needs to be developed. And the last thing, because it's some kind of a worry for me at the moment, I'm experiencing almost on daily basis, is that people will learn that AI is not the same as generative AI. Um,
Okay.
it's a
Don't explain why
solution.
yet. Don't explain why yet. Let me interrupt you
Okay,
because I mean you can't because that
yeah,
it's a great topic for an
that's
episode.
it. Yes, okay. So I'm not going
No
to explain
spoilers. No
anything.
spoilers.
Yeah. What do you think people should learn or could expect from this podcast?
Well, I agree with everything you said, and what I would like to add is so we are both um, um, passionate about data and education. So these are two of the other. We have other things in common, but I think these are two of the things we have in common. So I think everything data, but in a like literacy way. So data literacy and a little bit of like statistic and science literacy as well. I think it's something people would expect. The idea behind this podcast was not to do like an interview podcast. It's more like um, help people in their journey in data literacy. And I ask people just trust us, even if it is a topic that you think, oh, I know that already. Just come listen to us. We have like the different segments in addition to the main topic, but trust us, help us, be part of the conversation. The episode is released in a particular date, but it doesn't end there. So you can leave your comments, you can interact with us and let us know what you think. And I think yeah, and so you can expect honest conversations about data.
Yeah. And to
Um,
be honest, I think also if we do something that is not aligned with your opinion, or please help us out there, and so we can discuss it, and maybe we can invite you even uh, to come enjoy the podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We
Yeah, I
can
mean,
learn
we
from each
what?
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we
always
can learn from
learning.
each
I
other.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not in a position like we're gonna show you the truth. No,
No.
it's like we're sharing with you. It's time for our next segment, data story. So data story basically we'll bring here each episode just one thing that caught our attention, something interesting about data. It could be something we saw on the news. It could be a paper that was published. It could be a new product, new release, something that we think it's nice and we share it. But it's not the main topic of the episode. Otherwise, this like our episode will be like 3 hours long. We just mentioned it very briefly, and then you can go back to datavoice.net, find the episode there, and you'll find all the links, including the links to Angelika books, by the way. And you can find all the links there if you want to take a better read. So the for this first episode, there is something that there's a paper. As a data scientist, I make the habit of reading at least two papers, like science papers each week. Most related with statistics, AI, data, but not necessarily only. And there was one actually published March 2025. It's very recent, and it's called "Human in the Loop: Transfer Learning in Collision Avoidance of Autonomous Robots." It's a very long title. It was published in the Biomimetic Intelligence and Robotics. And I did not pronounce wrong. It's not biometrics, it's biomimetic. It's basically um, imitating things we see in nature. But anyway, the idea behind this paper is that AI can be enhanced, can become smarter by developing intuition. How you can develop intuition? Well, if you give early human feedback, because a lot of AIs, they train the AI and human feedback comes after the AI is trained. What they are proposing is giving giving the human feedback before the training. So they use Android robot with sensors, and basically the robot will. And if you develop things in Arduino, no, sorry, not Android, Arduino. Before you saw that, you probably did this exercise, or you build a little robot that will avoid obstacles and will try to find like an exit to a maze, for example. So they did a robot like that, and they try like, let's do the robot without any training. Let's do the robot with the just reinforcement training by itself. Um and then we give the human feedback after. And let's try the third way, which is we'll interact with the robot first, and then we'll do the reinforcement learning after. And they realize the robots that get the human feedback earlier in the process are much smarter. So anyway, that's a very brief summary of this paper. Again, the idea is not to discuss the data story of the episode in detail, but just give you a little hint, something that we found interesting, so you can check the link in the post of these episodes. Now we're approaching the end of this episode. So a few announcements. So I guess the first one, Angelika, I think
Well, I
it's
think
Click
that the
Connect.
one that is coming up in about a month time, it's time to go to Click Connect in Orlando. So I'm truly looking forward to that conference and seeing you there again live. So not with the ocean in between us and virtually.
Yep.
There are some pretty good sessions coming up. So one of them is, I believe, from Madelon and Cesar, and they will be doing not maybe Cesar, I don't know her name exactly, but it's about data visualization, how to use templates. So it's really interesting. I know that Jochem Schwienenberg, he is nowadays a clicky, and he is going to do also a training about hands-on data visualizations, and he is very powerful in data visualizations. So yeah, those are the topics that I will be attending definitely. And I think some click meetups I believe are coming up again, and you are the WizKid in meetups, Igor.
Yes. So yeah, keep. I'm ready. I'm confirming. So when you listen to this podcast, it will be already confirmed. But there is a good chance that we'll have in-person meetup in Boston late April, and we're planning a lot of meetups after Click Connect. So yeah, and if you go to Click Connect, find us. Let us know what you think about this podcast, this new project we're starting, and we'll give you Data Voyager stickers if you find us. I mean, we have a limited stock, so probably not gonna have for everyone, but you might try. And yeah, let's talk. So Angelika, thank you very much. Not only for record this with me, but to agreeing to this to be my partner in crime into this. This is very, very good. We always wanted to do something together. So this is the first, not the last, but it's the first thing project we're doing together, first of many. Yes. And inviting again everyone to follow Data Voyagers on LinkedIn, our website. Make sure you follow us in your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to your podcast. And if you wanted to help sponsor this, help us pay for we have the editor, great editor, etc. So you can help us. And to finish this, just a few credits. Besides us, also it's helping to run this podcast. The great editor, Leo Oliveira, he is my editor in other podcasts. He's amazing. He did our audio identity So all of the songs, everything he actually composed. It was it's songs, music that were composed for these podcasts. So thanks for him. Thanks for everyone. And you know, an idea that I just had, Angelica, we could say goodbye in our native language. So, ciao pessoal.
Tot ziens!
Data